Hey guys, let's move on to our next topic in JavaScript. So I hope you are coding along with me. I again emphasize on the same point. You code along with me so that you'll not feel left alone. Okay, so let's move on to our next three topics here. Okay, I'll just remove this and we're going to see uh, dynamic typing, variable mutation, type, Coersion. Okay, these are some basic three things that we have in JavaScript. So let's see variable mutation and the last. So I don't want to confuse you with the data dynamic typing and variable mutation. Okay, so let's start with variable mutation here. So if you remember, we neither specified which data type we are going to use. I mean, we are directly going bar my address and we are passing a variable, I mean value here, f1 block to something like this. Okay, so we never said JavaScript that this is going to be a string value, but in other languages like C# or Java, if you're from the programming background, you should have known, or if you are new, just get to know this. Usually in C# will write something like string my address and will pass a variable here. In this value, if you write any text, I mean numbers or something, this will throw an error. Same goes for other data types also. If you are placing this as int and if you are having a variable name here and passing a value as a string or boolean, this is going to throw error. But in case of JavaScript, it automatically understand this is going to be a string, or this is going to be a number, or this is going to be boolean or something, and it takes it in its own place. Okay, so this is dynamic, totally dynamic. We never ever specify a variable its data type in JavaScript. At the same time, we have a special thing called as TypeScript, in which we can implicitly or explicitly give its data type. We will see that in our later classes. So this is what is called as dynamic typing. So it has its own advantages as well as disadvantages. What are all the advantages? We don't have to take care of the data types here, so that the development time gets reduced. I mean, if there are 100 variables, you don't have to specifically find out what are all the data types for this. If you are giving it as a string, and if you are getting a value as int, it is going to throw an error. But in our JavaScript, we don't have to mind about that. So what is the error? I mean, what are the disadvantages we are going to get is, it is more error prone. So just consider a scenario in which you are passing your data into database. There's a chance, instead of passing a numeric value into that database, as we are having dynamic typing, you might have got a string and you would have passed it. Whereas in the C#, it would have thrown an error straightforward that this will only accept integer. So there are advantages, there are disadvantages. If you prefer not to be very strict and you have to go with your clear data types, then you have to go for TypeScript. I mean, you have to understand your fully JavaScript first, then you have to put a wrapper over the JavaScript called as TypeScript. We will see that in a later course. Okay, this is what is called as dynamic typing. Okay, so let's move on to our next topic, which is called as type coercion. So coercion means attraction of two things. So in JavaScript, let me say name is Sriram, age is 12. So in this case, name is a string and age is a number. I'm going to console log age of I'll put a plus sign here, and I'm going to pass a variable here, and again I'm going to put a plus sign here, and I'm going to say is plus age. So if you could understand this, age of, and there's a space here, and I have added a name here. This is how we are doing string concatenation. Attachment of two strings. Okay, so age of name, in this place you'll get Sriram, age of space Sriram, then I would like to have a space here too. So age of Sriram space is space, and I am passing a number here. So I am adding a string with a number. Ideally, let me open this. Ideally, in any language they should throw an error, because you cannot append a string with age directly. You should actually cast it to a string and then you have to add it with a string. But in our case, it automatically takes that number and converts that to a string and attaches it. Okay, this is the special thing in JavaScript. We don't have to do that casting explicitly. It implicitly does that, which is called as coercion. Type coercion. Okay, so what are this coercion is applicable for Boolean also. Is teenager, Sriram a teenager? False. In this case, age of Sriram is 12 plus, I like to add a string here, and he is, and is he a teenager? Question mark. Here I am going to throw the value plus this teenager. So if I save this, what happens? Age of Sriram is 12 and is he a teenager? False. Okay, so Boolean also gets type coerced with string and integer. So this is called as type coercion. Finally, we come to our last candidate of this topic, which is variable mutation. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a variable which is going to be so dynamic. Okay, so var so dynamic. Okay, so I'm going to give it as string value is passed, and after a set of business logics or something, I'm assigning a value of 100 to this. and if I try to console log this, so dynamic, I'm getting 100. So a string is automatically converted into a number here, and I mean a string data type is converted into a number data type. Even though it is showing it a string here, it is having a number in its container. So this is what is called as uh, variable mutation. Variable mutation. Okay. So you can also have this to be assigned as a boolean also. So if you go to here, it automatically converts to true. Okay, so I hope you would have understood these three concepts in JavaScript. So before wrapping up, I'm interested to show you one thing. So if you want to comment, usually in coding, we write console logs to check our values, and finally, if you are going, if you find the value, and if you don't want to, this console log, you can obviously delete this. If you want it for future references or someone to check this, you can comment this code so that it will not run. To comment a code, for 2 forward slashes if you are going to do for single line. Okay, and if you save this and if you try to run this, 100 will not be printed here. Okay, and for multiple lines, people used to say like we can have star, and to close this, star, and this one. Okay, so in case like if a variable is here, and you can comment this one, but I would prefer one more simple way for commenting, for single line commenting as well as multi-line commenting. Instead of slash and star, I usually like select all the things that have to be commented and press control in your keyboard, K C, it gets commented. So again, if you want to uncomment it, control K U. Okay, so this is how I love to do for comment. It is control plus K plus C. For uncomment, it is going to be U. Okay, so this is how I'll be interested in doing it, because I don't want to use my mouse more often. I would like to see everything in keyboard itself. So one more shortcut, if you want this left tab to be hidden while you are doing your programming thing, if you want your window to be extended, control B, that takes out this left bar. Again control B, it opens it up. Okay, so I hope you would love these shortcuts too while teaching. Take a note of it, it will be helpful in your future assignments. So thanks guys.